You're listening to the Murder Speaks podcast, the show that spills the tea about true crime. Here's your host, Wendy Hinbest.
Hey, what's going on? It's Wendy.
And Brent.
Welcome to Murder Speaks.
Once again.
Yep, we're back.
Finally. All right, check out our store, Crystal Kiss. We got a bunch of murder merch on there, as we like to call it. You can go there. You can get shirts, T-shirts, sweaters, pantaloons. You can get not shoes. I always see shoes. There's no shoes there at all. Brent. Hats. You can get hats, sunglasses.
No sunglasses. Okay. You can get T-shirts, hoodies, joggers, tank tops, and a hat.
No shoes, no sunglasses.
Nope, none of those things.
So the store's not open yet. We're still getting everything set up. We'll let you know the date when it comes, when it is closer. But just let you know it exists.
But in the meantime, what you can do is you can check out our TikTok channel, Crystal Kiss 1. And you can be part of a group, a WhatsApp group, where you do get updates and you do, get to view, the designs, and you get coupons as well. So
you can go on there and get designs done.
Yes, well, okay. I'll post them. It's not like it's a website that you can see it. Not yet. I do have a website, but I'm not releasing it yet until I actually open the store. But if you join my group, you can. I do share stuff like that. I share like some of the designs, and I share. You can get coupons. So when the store is open, you get a discount. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff. So join the WhatsApp group, and you'll get the updates.
True Crime Store. Go check out the murder merch.
Crystal Kiss.
Murder merch. Should call it murder merch.
Yeah, well, I know, right? Murder merch. Okay. Anyways, we'll get into today's story. So once again, Brent does not know anything about the story.
I'm kind of dumb that way.
I did all of the research, and he knows absolutely nothing about the case.
Or anything else.
We don't like to agree with him when he says that.
Microphone's over here.
Oh. We don't like to agree with him when he says that. Look, ASMR. It's like ASMR.
Yeah, check out our ASMR channel while you're at it.
Yes, I do have ASMR. I love it, and I do ASMR. And I have my own channel. I have almost 5,000 subscribers. Isn't a lot, but for me, it's a lot. So I'm very happy and blessed, and happy that those people who have joined my ASMR channel and support me. So if you like ASMR, yeah, go check it out.
Or sign up for the Patreon. Anyways, on with the show.
All right. So today's true crime story is about 19-year-old Faith Hedgepeth.
Faith Hedgepeth.
I think it's called Hedgepeth. It's spelled Hedgepeth.
Hedgepeth. All right.
Hedgepeth, yeah. 19-year-old.
Sounds kind of British.
Yeah. 19-year-old Faith Hedgepeth. She was born on September 26, 1992. She was born in Hollister, North Carolina. Faith was very smart, and she received many scholarships. She wanted to be a pediatrician. She wanted to work with children. In 2010, Faith moved 80 miles away to attend University of North Carolina. She was a sophomore at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and a member of a Halawi Saponi Native American tribe.
University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
I think I've heard of that before. I don't know if they have a good basketball program or something there. I've heard that name for some reason. Maybe it's a TV show. I don't know. Anyway.
Who knows? She lived off campus in a Chapel Hill apartment. On September 7th, 2012, Faith's mother was at work when her manager told her to call Chapel Hill about Faith. When she called, they told her Faith was deceased. I know, I couldn't imagine getting a phone call like that. It's crazy. Faith's family drove to Chapel Hill to find out what happened. Chapel Hill police informed them...
Where did they live again?
Well, she was born in Hollister, North Carolina. I'm going to assume that's where they were.
Okay, well, either way, so they live in North Carolina. She's going to school in North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah. Chapel Hill police informed them Faith was murdered. So she didn't die of natural causes. She was actually murdered.
Not many 20-year-olds die of natural causes. Maybe there could be like an accidental death or a car accident or something like that, but no 20-year-old dies of natural causes.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say no. There's probably a couple of fluke stories out there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, either way, it wasn't an accident. It was like, somebody
unalived her on purpose.
Purposely took her life, unfortunately.
I say unalived sarcastically. I do believe in the word killed. I just find it funny when people say unalived. Anyway.
Well, on TikTok, you have to say unalived, because if you say murdered, they remove the video. So I have to say unalive all the time. But anyways, so police immediately interviewed roommates, friends, and persons of interest. Now, Faith met Faith had a best friend named Karina. She met her in freshman year of university. They became best friends almost immediately. They were always together. Karina spoke to police and gave them a timeline of events the night of September 6th. She told police that Faith attended a local sorority event in the apartment complex just off campus. Faith left around
A sorority event at a apartment building?
Yeah, in the apartment complex, just off campus.
I would have thought they would have had usually with fraternities and sororities, they have like their own like home, not like an apartment building. They have like their own building. But anyway, just regardless.
Faith left around 7 p.m. to go to Davis Library, the student library on campus, to do some work on a paper with Karina. So they left the library around 11:30 p.m., then got back to their apartment around 12 a.m. The apartment complex is at the end of a road. The two women shared the second-floor apartment. The complex is surrounded by trees and only has one way in and out. They decided to go to a nightclub called The Thrill and locked the door when they left. They got there around 1 a.m. They drank and they ran into some friends. Karina wasn't feeling well and told Faith that she wanted to go home. So they left the club around 2 a.m. And there is surveillance video confirming Karina's story. It shows them arriving at the Thrill nightclub around 12:40 a.m. and leaving at 2:07 a.m. By 3 a.m., the women were back in their apartment. They went home and Karina started throwing up.
Wait, was the door locked when they got home?
I'm assuming they locked the door. So they went home and Karina started throwing up. Then Faith went to bed. Karina was sitting on the floor in the bathroom texting her friends. When Karina started feeling better, she texted her soccer player friend to come and pick her up. I think it was a booty call.
3 in the morning?
Well, I think it was a booty call.
She was throwing up and then wanted to have a booty call?
I think so. That's kind of gross, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope she used mouthwash. But anyways, around 4:25 a.m., Karina left the apartment, got into Jordan's car, and headed to his apartment. The front door was left unlocked because they only had one key. And she never told Faith she was leaving, which, why wouldn't you, if you're leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning, why wouldn't you tell your friend, hey, I'm stepping out?
Probably still drunk and not thinking clearly.
You know, I'd be pissed if someone did that to me. But anyways, around 10 a.m. the following morning, she called Faith because she needed to hand in a paper, and she wanted Faith to bring it to class, but Faith wasn't answering. Police said at 3:40 a.m., Faith sent a text to Brandon Edward.
Faith did?
Faith did.
And that's the girl that's missing?
That's the girl that's missing.
She sent him a text at 3:20 a.m.?
3:40 a.m.
Okay, that was to pick her up, right?
No, the other friend was to pick her up. So Faith is the one that passed away.
Yeah.
So Faith went to bed, but she didn't go right to bed. Apparently she was texting people, I guess people in bed. And
Wait,
she had texted...
Who went for the booty call? Faith or the other girl?
The girl who's throwing up, Karina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Faith sent a text to Brendan Edward when she went to bed at around 3:40 a.m. Now, Jordan might have been somebody Karina was having a relationship with. Like I said, it's probably a booty call.
Mm-hmm.
Later that morning, Karina needed a ride home. She couldn't reach Faith, so she called their friend Marisol to pick her up. Around 11 a.m., Marisol said they climbed the stairs and entered the apartment. She said they called out Faith's name, but got no response. Then they went to the bedroom where they found her body. So Karen called 911.
Where is your emergency?
I just walked into my apartment and my friend was just like sitting unconscious. There's blood everywhere.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. No, it had to have been in there.
What is your name?
Karina. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry.
It's okay, honey. It's okay, honey.
Everywhere. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I can't believe it. There's blood all over the pillows, like in the comforter. I just don't know what happened.
Okay. Is she breathing?
I don't think so.
Does she feel warm?
No, she feels cold.
She feels cold? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Don't touch anything else, okay?
I just played the 911 call for my husband. And so, Brent, what are your thoughts on the 911 call that you heard?
My only thoughts on the audio clip so far are that the caller sounds genuine. Obviously, it's clearly a murder, and she's clearly dead. So, yeah.
Okay.
And that's it. There's not a lot more information than that. I guess now it's just for the cops to start putting the pieces together.
Okay. So I'll continue. So 8 minutes after Karen called the Chapel Hill police, they arrived on the scene. Faith was found deceased and partially nude from the waist down. There was a lot of blood in the bedroom, and she had suffered what appeared to be severe head trauma. She was wearing a black T-shirt, and it was pulled over her head. When the police pulled down her shirt, they were shocked by what they saw. She was badly beaten. Both of her eyes were purple. Blood had matted down her hair. There was a
so that
massive...
means that she was beaten before she was killed.
Yes.
And then probably raped if her pants are off, like nude from the bottom down.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There was a massive indentation on her forehead.
Jeez.
She suffered blunt force trauma to her head. Faith was wrapped partially in a comforter that had been located on the bed. There was some blood spattered throughout the bedroom as well as where the pillow might be.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Police say Faith was bludgeoned to death by an empty bottle of rum that was found in the apartment. They believe it was the murder weapon. The police believe more likely than not that she was raped. A DNA profile was generated from semen collected at the scene, and investigators believe that the DNA belongs to Hedgepeth's killer.
Well, that seems pretty clear.
Yeah, that's obvious, right? A handwritten note on a fast food bag was found near the body. The note reportedly read something like, "I'm not stupid, bitch. Jealous?" Investigators treated the note as written by the attacker and as potential evidence.
No, I don't think so. Wait, what did the note say?
It just said, "I'm not stupid, bitch. Jealous."
The jealous part makes it sound like it's a girl.
Yes.
A guy wouldn't be jealous. She
Exactly.
wouldn't be jealous of a guy. So this is a girl.
Bingo. That's exactly what I was thinking as well. Like,
But
when I
that
first-
just means that the note's from a girl. So it could be a girl and a guy teamed up to kill her. I can't imagine why a girl would want to watch another girl get raped by a guy.
Yeah.
But God knows we've seen stranger things happen.
Yes.
I mean, the note could be completely unrelated. It could be like somebody was threatening her because they thought that she was dating her boyfriend. But I guess we'll see. Anyway.
Yep. Investigators recovered semen or sexual assault evidence, tissue fragments on the murder weapon, a variety of blood stains around the apartment, and DNA traces on the note and other items. Police reported that the DNA at the scene was consistent across multiple items. Crime scene yielded a significant amount of physical evidence that was preserved and entered into the investigation. Weapon with tissue, note, blood patterns. Autopsy concluded Faith died of blunt force trauma to the head inflicted by the glass bottle. Mm-hmm. One of Faith's friends realized she had a voicemail from Faith in the middle of the night. It was a pocket dial, just music and static in the background. So she deleted it because Faith was known to be a pocket dialer. But then she contacted her cell phone provider and was able to retrieve the voicemail and gave it to the police. I guess she thought that maybe
she probably got it before she knew Faith was dead.
Yes,
and just deleted
probably.
it. But then after she died, thought, okay, maybe I should recover that because
Yes.
if I got that call the same night she died, then it might be important.
Yes, exactly. So it was a random pocket dial. The police got a warrant for Faith's cell phone records. When Faith went to bed after the club, she didn't go straight to sleep, which I was telling you earlier. She texted 2 different men. Investigators bring one of them in for questioning.
Lord, 2 different men?
His name is Brendan Edwards. He admitted to spending the night on the couch in Faith's apartment the night before she was murdered, and he was at the nightclub with them as well. But he swears he had nothing to do with Faith's murder. His car was searched, and police took a sample of his DNA, and it wasn't a match to the DNA found at the crime scene.
As I said, it doesn't make sense. If this is a guy that they were at a club with and she was calling him when she was drunk, this is probably a guy that she's had a physical relationship with before. It'd be hard to imagine why somebody that's already been sexual with her would want to rape her. I mean, I'm sure stuff like that's happened, but it seems unlikely.
The other text was sent to her ex-boyfriend, Ty McNeil. When Ty arrived at the police station for questioning, he was greeted by Faith's family. Obviously, they knew him because they dated.
Right.
He told them...
He could be jealous. He could be jealous because she's dating another guy.
He told them Faith texted him the morning of her death saying they should get back together. When Faith's father saw the text, he felt the text did not come from Faith. It came from her phone, but she didn't write it, as there was a misspelled word, and Faith had OCD about that.
Right.
Ty willingly gave the police a DNA sample, and it was not a match. The police discovered on July 11th, about 2 months before Faith's murder, Karina filed a restraining order against Eric Takoy Jones. He was Karina's ex-boyfriend.
Right.
Karina broke up with him a few months before the murder, and she changed the locks. Eric broke into their apartment looking for Karina. Faith convinced Karina to get a restraining order. Apparently, Eric threatened to kill Faith if he and Karina didn't get back together. And Eric lives in the same apartment complex as them.
If you don't get back together, I'm going to kill your friend?
Yeah, because I guess he was mad because Faith is the one that put in her head to get a restraining order against him, maybe. That'd be my guess. He was upset. The day of the murder, Eric was first at the scene. And when he was interviewed, he said Faith was the sweetest person.
I mean, Faith was the sweetest person in the world. I can't believe in it, but I'm still in shock. It's unreal.
And he clearly did it, and I'll tell you why I know he did it.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason I know he did it is because this guy doesn't like Faith, right? Faith is convinced Karina to take out a restraining order against him. He's clearly somewhat violent or unstable. He doesn't like Faith, blames her for the restraining order. Now he's saying that she's the sweetest person on earth. Classic misdirection. He's the murderer, 100%. Lock it. Episode done.
Okay. So let me know in the comments what you guys think.
I've been wrong before when I was sure I was right, but I'm sure I'm right this time.
Okay.
Lock in my answer. Final answer.
Okay. So Faith's friends knew he hated Faith. So why?
Everybody knows that because of the restraining order.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
So why was he there saying so much and saying things like she was the sweetest person, right?
Misdirection.
So the police gained access to Eric's social media and discovered what he posted on Facebook the day before Faith's murder.
I'm going to kill that bitch?
It said,
Dear Lord, forgive me for all of my sins and the sins I may commit today. Protect me from the girls who don't deserve me and the ones who wish me dead today.
That was what he posted on his Facebook the day before she was murdered.
That's a bad prayer.
Investigators bring him in for questioning. Now, they didn't find anything linking him to Faith's murder, and his DNA was not a match.
What?
Yeah, his DNA was not a match, so they couldn't arrest him because they didn't have anything.
Huh.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, the case went cold.
Damn it! I'm wrong. I can't believe it. I was sure it was him.
Yeah. I thought so, too, in the beginning. I thought so for sure.
And luckily, I didn't lock this in as my final answer yet.
Okay, so the case went cold. The case remained unsolved for years. It became a high-profile cold case covered by local and national media, podcasts, like mine right now, and true crime programs. Community vigils and sorority remembrance events kept Faith's memory in public view while investigators continued working leads and testing evidence. In July 2014, the police reviewed the 911 call made by Faith's best friend, Karina.
She died when, in 2002?
She died in...
She was 20.
I think it was 2012.
She was born in 92. 20.
Yeah, it was 2012.
Okay, so it's not that long. It's only been 2 years. Okay. Sometimes cases go on for like 10, 20, 30 years.
Okay. In July of 2014, the police reviewed the 911 call made by Faith's best friend, Karina. Now, they thought it was weird that she used the word unconscious to describe Faith at the scene. She repeats on the 911 call that she just walked in the apartment. She said someone has been in there, but that's obvious. The police thought that was obvious. Obviously, someone's been there, right? And she never mentioned Faith by name.
Oh, Faith must have slept with Karina's boyfriend. Karina wrote the note about being, I know what you did, bitch, jealous, and then got her boyfriend to rape it? Okay, keep on going. I'm still not making sense of this.
So the police reviewed the note and wondered if the note was written by Karina. Apparently, Faith wanted to move out and asked to move in with another friend. A handwriting expert reviewed the letter that was found at the scene, and the writing on the bag did not match Karina's writing.
Yeah, that wasn't adding up in my head either.
The case went cold for 2 more years until 2016. The pocket dial voicemail she left her friend was analyzed by an expert. There were 2 male voices and 2 female voices. This part was really intriguing for me.
Okay, because initially we only knew that Brendan was at the nightclub with them, but now we're discovering there might be a second man at the nightclub with them.
Yeah, so now the expert was able to hear 2 female and 2 male voices. So altogether 4 people. But obviously one of the voices is
Brendan.
Faith, right?
Well, one voice is Brendan, one voice is Faith, one voice is Karina. But we're looking for now we're picking up a 4th voice, which is a male voice that we don't know yet.
I mean, they haven't confirmed all that, but
Okay,
we'll see. So the pocket dial voicemail she left her friend was analyzed. And like I said, there were 2 male voices and 2 female voices. The first female said,
Ow, my head.
the second female said,
Do it.
a male said,
I think she's dying.
another male said,
Do it anyhow.
and then a female said,
Ow.
then said,
Help me.
then said,
Get off of me.
they didn't pick this up the first time. And then
no, because the first time it was all staticky, so they couldn't
Oh,
they
they
couldn't
put it
barely
up
hear it.
now.
So they got an expert to analyze the
they went to the
voicemail.
nightclub. So they thought that the voicemail was left when they were at the nightclub. So
They
they
did
thought
go
it
to
was
the
just
nightclub because there was surveillance confirming that they went in and then that they left. Remember I told
at
you?
2:07.
Yeah, so they
But
were
the
so they were
voicemail-
definitely there.
But this voicemail was I think you said the voicemail was at the same time that they were at the nightclub.
That's what they thought. I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Okay? Because according to the timestamp, they were at the nightclub. That's according to the timestamp, right?
Okay. But obviously they weren't.
So a male said,
Do it anyhow.
a female said,
Ow.
then said,
Help me.
then said,
Get off of me.
the other female said,
F you. I'm pissed.
then said,
I'm gonna kick your face, bitch.
then said,
I figured out that bullshit.
then said,
You liar.
then said,
You intentionally lied.
then said,
Don't be a Put up a fight.
a male said,
I can't believe that you really did it, Rosie.
Rosie.
female 2 said,
To go help Eric.
before it gets interesting and confusing at first, but
Wait,
interesting.
Eric? Which one was Eric again? I
Eric
think-
was the ex-boyfriend of Karina.
So Karina's ex-boyfriend and somebody named Rosie? Okay.
Rosie, yeah. Now, there was a female in distress who was probably Faith.
Obviously.
Police had all the evidence, but the timestamp didn't make sense. Karina and Faith were at the club at 1:23 a.m. Apparently, Faith had a problem with timestamp with her phone. The police reached out to an organization, and they did a process called phenotyping. So,
I've heard
basically,
that term before. I forget what it means.
So basically, just to reiterate, the timestamp on their phone, the police didn't think it was right,
Yeah.
right? And so now they went to another organization that did a process called phenotyping. That's when you take the DNA found at the crime scene and turn it into a 3D image. It's kind of pretty cool, actually. When I was watching it and reviewing it, it's kind of pretty cool. It's basically like a scientifically produced mugshot. Right? So
Of the DNA?
Yeah, so they take the DNA and it forms an image of the suspect based on the DNA evidence. It's pretty cool.
What? Wait, what? They can use the DNA to get an
image.
idea of what really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's pretty cool, actually. Yeah. From what I'm seeing, it's pretty cool. But that's what I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So over a month later, the image of Faith's killer is complete. It was a male with olive skin and dark eyes who looked Latino. And Eric was black, right? So
But we got 2 male voices, so this could just be the other male.
yeah,
And Eric's semen, or the DNA didn't match the semen.
no,
So we're looking at now the other guy. So the guy, so the guy is probably the guy that raped her. Is probably Latino. This whole thing doesn't make any sense. I don't understand with the rape part.
the image was released, and the police followed all the leads, but there were no suspect. Then, on September 16th, 2021, Chapel Hill police arrested 28-year-old Miguel Enrique Salguero Oliveras, a Durham resident, and charged him on first-degree murder of Faith Hedgepeth. He had not been a suspect originally, but was identified through DNA samples after he had been arrested on a drunken driving charge
Yep.
in Wake County the preceding month. According to court documents released in January 2022, the DNA found at the scene and the palm print on the murder weapon match Salguero Oliveras.
Random.
In November 2024, it was announced that prosecutors amended the indictment to add the charges of first-degree burglary, first-degree rape, and first-degree sexual offense. Police stated
What's the
DNA...
difference between sexual offense and rape?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Police stated DNA evidence linked him to the crime and that genealogical leads were used to identify him. This arrest came roughly 9 years after the murder.
Yeah.
9 years. And as of 2025, the case remains in pre-trial litigation with defense motions active.
So wait, so Eric was the guy that had the restraining order against him?
Yeah, so there's still things.
So him and his buddy and some girl named Rosie.
Now, Karen's last name is Rosario.
Oh, so they call her Rosario.
So during my research, they said that they think that they call her Rosie as a nickname for Rosario for
Karina,
Karen.
Her boyfriend Eric, who Karina put a restraining order on the recommendation of Faith, and then some Spanish guy or Latino guy raped and murdered Faith.
I mean, they could have, in my opinion, they could have basically just got him. Okay, in my opinion, I don't think her leaving the door unlocked was a mistake. Obviously, I think
so that they could sneak in.
Yeah, I think that she used the key as an excuse just so she wouldn't get caught. But she left the door unlocked. Because I think about it, if you were living with somebody, you would not leave. You would not go out and not say anything.
So Karina left to go to Eric's, and left the door unlocked.
Yes.
And Faith didn't know that she went to Eric's because she thought, as far as she knew, Karina was having no contact with Eric whatsoever.
As far as she knew, there was this restraining order.
Yeah.
Right?
So they left the door open, and then this Spanish guy and Eric. She probably didn't even go to Eric's place. She probably just opened the door and then left them in and said she went to Eric's place.
Because the something that I had in my notes that I had actually doing my research, and I didn't know where to put it in my notes, but I'll mention it now. So when I was reading, it said that when earlier when I said that Karina had called somebody for a booty call.
Yeah.
Okay, so in my research, it said apparently that this person that picked her up had noticed that Karina had blood on her hand. And that's what I found during my research. Yeah, okay. That Karina was upset. Apparently, when he picked her up, she was upset.
So they
and
killed
she had
her.
blood on one of her fingers.
They killed her. Then she left and went somewhere, and then came back and acted like, "Oh, I just got back," and this is what happened.
Yeah, because during the call, the police were like, "Why does she repeatedly say, I just got back. I just got back.
Yeah.
I just got back," right? And she never called her by name, She never said Faith. She just said whatever. And then she's unconscious. But I didn't think about it at first. I'm like, yeah. I mean, she's surrounded by blood, covered in blood. She's badly beaten. She's obviously dead. And you're saying she's unconscious. Like, you wouldn't say that.
It's almost like she's like guilty and she can't accept
yes.
it. She won't say her name because she doesn't want to acknowledge it. She's saying she's unconscious because she's almost like distancing herself from the murder.
Because you would say, "Oh my God, my friend, I just got hit. My friend, looked like she's dead. She's covered in blood."
She's not breathing.
You wouldn't say she's
cold.
unconscious, right? So I think, they haven't. I'm
but
sure.
What did the note say again? The note said.
The note that was released said it was 4 words. Hang on. It said, "I'm not stupid, bitch. Jealous." 5 words.
So for some reason, she was convinced in her head that Faith wanted Eric. And had convinced Karina to break up with him and get the restraining order to create distance because in her mind, Faith wanted Eric, even though that seems like it's probably not true.
No.
And then just, drunken jealousy and, Eric is probably feeding a lot of information into Karina's head, trying to convince her that, Faith is this and that because he's obviously a piece of junk if they wanted to get a restraining order. And then the Latino guy, I don't know how he factors into this story at all, except that he must be Eric's friend and they somehow convinced him to join
Maybe
him.
That's one thing.
Maybe they told him they could rape her if he would
and then kill her. Maybe they paid him.
That's the part that I don't get.
That's what I don't understand either.
Read a girl, what girl, I was have a complete psychopath, disgusting piece of crap. Even if you want a girl killed, if some guy started raping this girl, wouldn't you be like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?"
Yeah. And then he's killing her and everything, and you're standing there watching the whole time?
Watching him rape her?
Rape her and kill her?
Or have sex with her dead body. I don't know which way it goes. But
I don't know.
Ugh.
But, and then we can't forget about the Facebook post that Eric just happened to post the day before.
I was always convinced that Eric had something to do with it.
You know what I mean? Like, so even though we don't know for
But it wasn't
sure.
his DNA on the scene. That's what I'm saying. So we know the Latino guy is the guy that raped her.
Yes. Eric didn't.
But so like Eric and Karina were what, just having a cup of tea, watching this Latino gay
I don't know.
rape a
They were
girl
involved
or
somehow, though,
have
obviously.
sex with a dead body? Like, ugh.
They were involved
Morbid.
somehow.
This is a morbid story.
They were
Why the
in-
hell did you bring this story here? It's morbid.
Yeah. They were involved somehow. Even though we don't know all the details, I'm sure it'll come out. And I'm curious now to know what they find going forward, because I'm
The
pretty
only thing
sure.
that makes sense here is that Karina was convinced by Eric that Faith was trying to break them up, and that Faith was probably he probably said Faith was coming onto him to make Karina jealous, right? And then when he got her sufficiently worked up, believing that Faith was this and Faith was that, he convinced her that the two of them that they should kill her. Probably said, "Let's bring in this Latino guy because the police will suspect us, but we'll bring in this third person to do the killing." And then that guy, when he was killing her, maybe he just decided to rape her. But I still, but Karina and Eric were clearly there based on the recording, so they must have just watched him rape this girl. That's the part that I still find wild.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, why would okay, Eric and the friend kind of makes sense why they were there, but yeah, this random guy, like, and if they
they probably said, we don't want it to be tied back to us. We'll get him to do the killing. Remember, his DNA is everywhere, not their DNA.
But why would he do it though? Did they pay him something? And if they did,
maybe
pay
they
him,
maybe they
the
just
police
told him,
would have found that.
Maybe they told him that he could have sex with the body.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's one thing I don't understand. Like,
understand.
why would he get himself involved for nothing? Like, he wouldn't do it for nothing. They must have given him something. But usually, if there was a transfer of funds, the police would have found that. They would have found some sort of transfer of funds from one person to the other. That's the only thing that I don't understand is why did this. Like, I understand Karina's motive because she was just upset and pissed about something. And I understand Eric's motive because he was upset about the fact.
Maybe they just knew that this guy was just a violent guy, and they just brought him, like, they just got him involved, and maybe Eric knew this guy had like a rape fantasy or something, or a rape fetish, or a rape. I don't know what you call it. Like, the only thing I think that's the only thing I can think of, because his DNA is found on the scene, so he's clearly the one that killed her. So the only thing that makes sense is that they basically said you can kill and rape her, or kill her and have sex with her dead body or whatever. That's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise, yeah, it makes no sense. Like, what's his motivation for being involved in this? Anyway.
This is an ongoing case. Like, I'm looking at an article dated July of this year. The state made a motion to continue the case in September, and the defense attorney agreed. The case has been rescheduled to take place September 29th. So this is ongoing. This is an ongoing case, and I'm sure more is going to come out. And I am going to be following it because I'm curious to know
Well,
why.
at some point in a future episode, at the end of the episode, we'll do a little update about this one, because I'm still trying to understand that guy's motivation. The only thing that makes sense to me is that they must have made a deal that they wanted this girl killed, and that if this guy did it, he could also have sex with the dead body or rape her before she was killed or something. Because the Latino guy's handprint was found on the bottle, his semen was found at the scene. He murdered her. And he either raped her and murdered her, or murdered her and had sex with her corpse. Either way, like, he did everything. Like, well, they just basically stood there and watched. It's the standing there and watching part.
It's
I
crazy. It's
understand
wild.
if you want somebody dead, that you might stand and watch somebody get killed. I am floored by the idea of a girl just standing and watching another girl get raped. Like, that to me seems like even if you hate that girl, wouldn't you hate that guy more for being a rapist? Like, that's the part that doesn't that does not jiving with my head. But there's all kinds of twisted people. I don't know. This Faith girl sounds like this Karina girl sounds like she's a lot more twisted than it seemed.
Yeah, and since they were best friends. Best friends, my ass.
Her voice sounded real. Like, on the recording, she sounded genuinely distraught to me.
According to his Sogaro Oliver's defense, he is lawfully provided with multiple prescriptions, one of which is known to cause false positive results for meth that he is accused of possessing.
Oh, maybe they give him drugs. Or maybe they give him a little bit of cash. Maybe this guy's an addict. They may have only given him like $100 for just a score. Maybe he just
gave
wanted
him
to
cash.
he might just wanted to get drugs. So
Who
he may not even
knows?
have to give him a lot of money.
What does this recording say? Hang on.
New developments in a high-profile triangle murder case. The suspect accused of killing UNC student Faith Hedgepeth now faces new charges, this time related to drugs in jail. He appeared in court on those charges days after his defense team filed new court documents in the murder case. WRAL's Monica Casey joins me with the details on all of this. Monica, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So it's been over, I think, 12 years since Faith Hedgepeth was killed. In the last week, there's just been a lot of interesting things going on in this case. So let's start with what played out in the courtroom when it came to these drug charges.
Yes, absolutely. So Miguel Salguero Olivares faces 3 new charges. It's a separate case from the murder case, and these charges are for possession of drugs while in jail, possession of methamphetamine, and then possession of methamphetamine with intent to distribute. So those charges were filed last month, and hearing in court was going to be what's called a probable cause hearing. So he was not brought over from the jail. His attorney represented him in front of the judge, and his defense team has filed a motion asking to do independent testing of the alleged drugs that he is charged with having while in jail. His team is arguing that he has multiple prescriptions, and one of them is known to cause false positive results for meth. So the state, the prosecutors in this case, made a motion to continue this case over to September, and that defense attorney agreed. And so they are going to hear that motion for independent testing in September, and basically get back to it then.
Okay. And, for people who maybe are just playing catch up on this, when was he charged in the Faith Hedgepeth case?
Yeah, Grace, you mentioned how long this case has been going on. So Faith Hedgepeth was murdered back in 2012, and Salguero Olivares was linked to this case from DNA evidence that was collected in a drunk driving stop back in 2021. So he was officially arrested and charged in September of 2021. So he has been waiting for trial for a long time now, almost 4 years, and he's been under no bond that entire time, which is standard when someone is charged with first-degree murder. As this case has gone through the court, we've been following really each filing as it comes through, and some of those records show why this is taking so long. In this case, given how long ago it was, there is so much discovery, which is what they basically call the evidence for both sides, the prosecution and the defense, to go through. A translator is needed for some things. They're going through social media posts, and there's a lot of forensic testing that has to be done. So that's one reason this is taking so long.
Right. And what did we learn from those filings last week about the case? His defense team put these out, and what does it appear that tells us about the case that they're building for the trial?
Yeah, so his defense team filed 3 motions. One of them is for permission, essentially, to call an out-of-state witness, letting the court know they want to do that. A second motion is for an expert witness. And then the third motion is for the release of more evidence to the defense team for testing. And that last motion is a little bit of a clue that if they still want to do more testing of evidence, we probably have a long way to go before we actually get to trial. So in these motions, the defense attorneys want to call a former UNC student who knew Faith Hedgepeth and her roommate as a witness for the defense. They say that witness is going to testify that he was friendly with Hedgepeth and her roommate, and after hanging out with them at a club the night of the murder, Hedgepeth's roommate asked him to come pick her up from her apartment around 4 a.m. That witness says that Hedgepeth's roommate was upset, and when she got in his car, she had blood on her fingers. Now, that blood was tested by Chapel Hill police at the time, but there wasn't enough DNA to match who that blood belonged to. The defendant's attorneys are also saying that notes from police and the medical examiner at the time place Hedgepeth's blood alcohol content at a level where they say she would have been dead before this roommate left the apartment. That's a big part of the defense's argument here. And then lastly, they want an expert witness to examine the fingerprints on a Bacardi bottle that was found near Hedgepeth's body. That's kind of the crux of the second and third motions that were recently filed. They argue that while The SBI tested the fingerprints on the bottle at the time, and they weren't able to match them to anyone. The defense says their experts are going to be able to testify that those fingerprints do not match Salguero Olivares, the man who's been arrested for this murder. They also want their expert to compare other people's fingerprints, including Hedgepeth and her roommates, to those fingerprints on the bottle. So a lot of moving parts and moving pieces here. But in essence, these motions want to call a new witness to talk about what was happening that night, and they want to do more testing on the evidence that was tested at the time in 2012 to see what they can find from that.
Let's take a quick break right there. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about these drug charges.
Did they say that his fingerprints don't match the DNA on the bottle?
This is all coming from the defense team, his defense team.
Oh,
so his defense team, I don't know if they've made a very clear claim yet, but I think his defense is doing what they should do, which is they want to test all the evidence. They want to see, are there any fingerprints on the bottle and whose fingerprints are on the bottle?
Yeah.
Because if Olivares' fingerprints are not on the bottle, and what they're going to try and do is they're going to try and say that either Karina or Eric were the killer, and that he just raped her. So I think what they're trying to do is they're probably trying to figure out a way that he can just get charged with rape, because I don't know what the jail term is on rape in North Carolina. That's a kind of a reddish state.
Oh, that could have been their plan.
So it might be that he might be trying to say his defense team might be trying to say something like he did the rape, 15 to 20 years or something like that in jail for rape, and that Eric and Karina did the murder, so they're the ones that should go to jail forever. They might be trying to do something like that.
Oh, that makes sense, actually.
But if his fingerprints are on the bottle and his blood and all this and that, then it's going to be pretty clear that he's at least involved in the murder. Now, the other side of it is that if they can prove that the other people's fingerprints on the bottle, they could say that they're the ones that hit her. Like, then we don't know who delivered the lethal blow. Right? And then, it might just be that all three of them get like a second-degree murder charge or something. They plead to a lesser charge. Because, like, if they can't prove who actually murdered her, they're not going to probably be able to charge anybody with first-degree murder because there'll be probable cause.
Yes.
Probable cause? Not probable cause. You have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, right? Reasonable doubt. So there might be reasonable doubt as to who dealt the lethal blow in the actual murder. So then it might be so I think that's what the defense team is trying to work out. You know, like you always hear about these cases where somebody like committed murder and then you find out they got charged with second-degree murder or manslaughter, and you're like, how'd they get that? Well, it's because if the legal team, the prosecutors, if they can't prove who did the thing, like this is the person, they did this, and that was like, say a video surveillance shows somebody hitting somebody in the head with a bottle, and right in the middle of the forehead, and they go, that shot in the middle of the forehead was the one that killed them. They go, Eric is the guy that killed her because we saw him hit her in the center of the forehead. That's the lethal blow. He's the one that gets charged with the murder. So, but if all they know is that she hit in the head with the bottle, but all three of them touched the bottle, who did it?
Exactly.
They'll never be able to prove it. It's all he said, she said against each other. So they'll probably do is, in that case, probably all three of them will get like second-degree murder or manslaughter charges, and then the Olivares gets the rape charge, and the sexual assault and whatever. But anyways, that's just his defense team. They're just trying to figure out exactly what the evidence is so that they can figure out how to provide the best defense for him. That's what they're doing.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll make sure to have a follow-up episode for this, because once we have more information.
If it's not enough for a full episode, maybe just an addendum to another episode.
Or maybe we'll just mention it,
Maybe we'll just have a short 5-minute episode one day just to follow up.
Or we'll just mention it. We can just kind of before we start our next our episode that day, whatever episode that is, we can just kind of mention it as a follow-up just to keep you guys updated. Because, this was definitely an interesting case, and there's still so many unanswered questions. Like, I still have, not everything makes sense. So, anyways.
The only thing that I don't understand at this point is the rape.
Yeah. Like, why, what does he get into it? What does he get from it? Like, what is his motive?
Drugs. He's a drug addict. Like, they drug addicts will do almost. You don't understand what happens to an addict when they need to get a hit. So this guy may have just been like in such a crazed state that he needed a hit that they were just like, we'll give you like a big pile of the drug that he wants, or
Maybe,
we'll give
yeah.
you like $200 cash so you can go score.
And there's no way to trace that, right? It's not like
It's just
money.
cash.
Yeah, it's just cash.
So like,
yeah.
and it's a small amount of cash. So like, well, $200. I mean, some people might think that's a lot of money, but it's really not a lot of money. It's very easy for that to, for somebody just to have $200 on them, give it to a guy that they know is struggling is a drug addict, and then he goes in, kills the girl, rapes her. Maybe that wasn't part of the plan. Maybe they probably just wanted him to kill her. Then he probably raped her. And they're probably like, holy shit, this guy.
Who knows?
Who knows what they're?
We don't know.
They may have been kind of scared of this guy too, right? Like if he's the one, if they said we want her dead, and he's the one that killed her, they might have been scared of him. So when he was doing whatever else he was doing, they may have just like walked away and been like, okay, whatever. Like we don't know. Like I mean, this guy's obviously a scary guy.
Yes.
Like I mean, Faith and Eric are both scary people, but this guy seems like a very scary guy too. Obviously,
Not Faith and Eric. You mean Karina?
I keep on saying that Karina and Eric are scary people.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's Karina and Eric are guilty in my mind of first-degree murder.
Yeah.
And organizing the murder, or I don't know if they call that first-degree murder, or if they call that conspiring to commit murder, whatever you want to call it. But
they're involved either way.
Yeah, and then the Latino guy, Oliveras, I would say this guy's probably more like a second-degree murderer. Like he's like a drug addict that just was doing it because he wanted to score drugs. Although the rape part's still the part that blows me.
Yeah, like he raped her. Yeah, so like, is he capable of killing her?
It
If
could
he
just
raped
be
her?
a crime of opportunity. It could be like he killed her and then like my thinking is that he killed her and then because they say rape, which I guess it's maybe rape, but maybe it's almost like he murdered her and then raped the corpse or had sex with the corpse.
Oh God.
Well, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Like I don't think the three of them held her down and he raped her and then after he's done raping her, then hit her with the bottle and killed her, right? Like that's the way a real rapist might do it. A real rapist would actually rape somebody and then kill them to keep them quiet.
Yeah.
But this was not the intent. The intent was to kill her. I think the rape was something that just happened as a opportunity, a crime of opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this girl's dead or dying. Like maybe they hit her and she's dying. And this guy was like, great opportunity. I'm gonna have sex with her body.
That's disturbing.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like you're just trying to understand the steps. Like those are the only steps that make sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, so that's the only thing that's the only thing I'm confused about is.
Yeah, and this Karina was so
murder.
angry at her that they got this guy and told this guy that they wanted him to rape her first because they wanted to watch him rape her as part of the torture that they wanted her to go through before they killed her.
I guess.
I mean, that's another side of it.
Let's
That's
go Karina.
very
She's
dark.
crazy. She's obviously a psycho.
I don't know. The whole thing's dark either way.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But that concludes our episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok, Crystal Kiss 1. And we also have a TikTok channel called Murder Speaks. I believe Murder Speaks or Murder Speaks 1. And get access to more content. And we also have a YouTube channel from Murder Speaks. And we will be opening our store soon.
Yep, keep an eye open when we reopen that.
Yeah. And so thank you so much for listening, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.